Hi, in this video, I'm going to be answering the question of how to develop a strong, stable work ethic and how to stay consistent. So this was a question that was submitted for me to answer today, and I hope I give the best possible answer that I've learned and how I developed a strong, stable work ethic, and from what other people who've had really strong work ethics have, what I've learned from them by reading about them and observing them. So the first thing I would put into place for answering the first part of the question is how to develop a strong, stable work ethic is having the purpose and the why behind it. So a definite purpose of why you want to go to that work. So thanks for joining, everyone. Leon, Tam, and James. So really becoming obsessed around your purpose is what will get you out of bed in the morning, what will get you out to work. So not just the financial motive, not just the what kind of money is involved in it. Because, for example, if you think about people who go to work every morning, what is it behind it? A lot of the time it's just because they've got a structure in place to go to work. They've got a boss, they've got someone waiting for them to fulfill a role. So if you look at it in that way, what gets people to their work in the morning? And that is a good question to ask when you're asking for how to develop a strong work ethic, because if you understand how people get out their bed and get out the door to go to work in the morning consistently for 20 years, 30 years of their life, if you can understand why they did that for so long, then you can reverse engineer it and apply it to what is it you're wanting to do. And that's really the structure part of it, answering the second part of the question on how to be consistent, because they have a structure, they have people waiting for them. They have, for example, if they're a shopkeeper, the shop can't be opened until they're physically in the shop with everything set up. And having that sort of tension and having people like accountability waiting for you at the other end is what that gives them the drive. But I feel like if we're running our own, if we're talking about business here, we're running our own business and figuring out what drives people to keep sustaining the business and working really hard at it is really about back to going to the purpose, the why behind everything, and that becomes the driver. So what is your motive? Is it just financial, or is there a aspect of you have family, so love, and these like financial, love, sex are all very big, powerful motives behind things, and people think that it's just financial, but realizing that there's actually another aspect to focus on for the motivation behind everything is really important as well. So think about the motives behind what will drive this type of work ethic, and studying other people who have this work ethic and seeing what their real motive was at the bottom layer. Other things that will help when you have those purposes and you've got clarity around the purpose and the motive that you have that's driving you, that's pulling you to go to work. The other things that we need to look at is the negative emotions, thoughts that we need to weed out. So we have to have mastery over our emotions, mastery over our thoughts, and mastery over our habits. But think about the negative sides of them as well. So if we have negative thoughts in our head, we feel negative, or we are doing kind of destructive, negative habits. Procrastination is one of them, but the negative thoughts going through our head is clouding up the space to let in the creative infinite intelligence of us. So if we are filled up with negative thoughts or unimportant thoughts throughout our day that are keeping us small, then we'll never have the space in our head to fill it up with progressive, constructive thoughts, positive thoughts that will get us to go to where we need to go to make progress with our goals. So we need to have mastery over all of those negative thoughts going through our mind to make sure that we actually have the control over that and suggest better thoughts in our mind and emotions and feelings towards it. So it's a balance of getting rid of the junk or avoiding it altogether, and avoiding people that fill your head with junk, avoiding any TV programs that fill your head with that, and negative news, things like that are all cramming our heads full of negative thoughts. And when we're heads full, like scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through social media, all, I'm not saying it's all junk, but be very careful and be cautious about what you're consuming, because whatever you consume is what you end up putting out, and what's going through your head. So if we put something in and it's not very good, we have to work to get that out of there, but don't let it get in there in the first place. But it's very difficult because things influence us. So if there is things in our head we need to get out or have mastery over before we can start to fill in more productive thoughts and positive thoughts into our mind. And I think that's a big part of the work to be productive and overcome procrastination, is the thoughts and feelings that are going through us that's influenced us our whole life. That's where the majority of the work will have to start if you do not have a work ethic and habit of going to work and being productive. So negative habits, negative emotions, negative thoughts, removing them, putting a structure in place, such as like a job that will make you show up. But I feel like if we take off all the weight of all those other things first, we just float towards our goal naturally. And that's what I feel that I do, because when I've got rid of all those negative thoughts, the structure is less important. But it's still important to have a structure that gets me to places where I need to go to move towards goals. So for example, a speaking goal that I have, I set when I was 25, a 10-year goal, and then I joined Toastmasters. Toastmasters has become a structure every 2 weeks that I have to go to, or I want to go to, because I know it's in alignment with the vision that I set. I think about my visions morning and night. And this is the other point. If we still have those negative thoughts in, like our ego will come in after we suggest these visions in our head, such as becoming a public speaker or communication skills. And the ego will come in and say reasons why you can't make that happen, or go back to historically, how you didn't become a public speaker, or how you can't become a public speaker. It almost comes up with the negative thinking brain will come up with thoughts on how you can't do it. So we have to get rid of that first, and then on top of that, add positivity to our mind, or add our vision and meditate and think about our vision often. So it's mastering the brain over these other negative thoughts around that vision that you have, this thing that you want to achieve, this goal. And that's what really will help. If you have your mind, because it all starts in the mind. If you have your mind filled up with this positive visionary mindset of where you want to go and where you are going, then that's where you naturally float towards. You kind of move towards without effort, without the extra effort that it is when you have all this weight of negative thinking and emotions behind you. So getting rid of that first, then setting up the structures such as Toastmasters for me to work towards my speaking skills, having Facebook Lives every Wednesday. It's all structures that's making me move towards my 10-year, 20-year goals. So having different business plans in place that where you have meetings with people who you need to have meetings with to progress towards those goals. So having the structures, and then creating the habits eventually is what will happen over time when you do it daily. So Michael Jordan had a rule that if he had a bad game twice in a row, it wasn't acceptable. One game's okay, but 2 games is not, because now it's starting to create this new habit. So the small decisions that you make in small moments, like for me, I had a interview plan today, but I woke up not feeling well, so I did have a lie in this morning, I'll admit that, to recover. But I had to make a decision to cancel the interview I had planned today, but I did not cancel my live today because I had some questions to answer, so I could still do it here today, but it just wasn't part of the plan that I had. So that's where my positive thinking came in today, to go, no, I wouldn't let someone else off with that. I wouldn't let my staff off with that. I wouldn't let off anyone in my team. I wouldn't let off my best friend with those excuses, excusitis. So it's when you get to a point where you have no more, like you don't accept excuses in yourself and in others, it's when you will show up every day and deliver what you need to deliver. And that is a big part of it all. And when you have that rule like Michael Jordan had, is you think about your habit that you're wanting to create every day. I use 60-60 challenge sheets from the book, The One Thing. And it's the idea of doing something consistently, such as waking up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. It's consistently for 66 days. They said in a scientific experiment, a university study, that it takes 66 days on average to build a new habit. So if you get past that pivotal point where it's like a snowball effect after you get past 66 days, which is the hardest part, then you naturally have something ingrained in your head, in your brain, that it's a thing that you start to do automatically, that you're not pushing uphill anymore. You're now just flowing with this new habit that's making you do things. It's such as going through social media. Every time we pick up our phone and scroll through Facebook aimlessly, we're building a habit of doing that. So decide what kind of habits you want and what you don't want. Drop the ones you don't want and start to consciously decide on the habits you do want and build them with structures such as the 60-60 challenge. And I have groups that help people stick to the habits they want to create, such as I'm creating something about reading every day, building a habit of reading every day, and I'm creating a structure and an accountability group on WhatsApp so that everyone can come together and work together to help each other, encourage each other to, so creating community to build this habit that they want to create of reading at least half an hour every day. So these are the different ways that I put into place to develop a strong, stable work ethic, and how I stay consistent with that, and how I stay consistent with not just work ethic, but other setting goals and following through consistently and actually achieving them. So I hope you found that helpful. That question came from Zolt, and I hope you found that helpful, everyone else. If you watch this on replay, just leave in the comments #replay. If you're watching this live, comment #live. And it'd be good to see who's all come on to watch this. Let me know what you took away, and let me know how you develop a strong work ethic. What is it your dad taught you? What has your mum taught you about work ethic? And what if other people taught you what you learned in your life about work ethic? I would love to hear more about that, because I think we can all have a better work ethic and do a wee bit more. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, Matt, over on Instagram.